Another big one definitely is people trying to figure out intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Right? Heard several different things about adjusting the amount of hours that you fast for and what foods you can eat after or before because I've heard like there's different ways you can obviously do it.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say it's dependent on the person, or would you recommend that at all?
That's a little bit more like, again, context matters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you do for work? You know, is your job so busy that eating 6 meals throughout the day is a chore and it's inconvenient for you? Then if so, maybe intermittent fasting works for you. Okay. The thing about fasting is I think it works better for males than it does for females, just because of the way that our hormones are set up. Okay. Women don't have as much testosterone in our bodies. That's what makes us women. Mm-hmm. Whereas guys have much higher testosterone levels, and that allows you to tap into those fat stores a lot more easily. Whereas for us, muscle wasting is more like the preferred form of fueling our bodies under states of fasting. Oh, okay. Yeah, so little pieces of information like that. But I mean, even with the ketogenic diet, I recommend everyone try something once and learn for themselves. Yeah. It's not like it can't work for anyone. Mm-hmm. It just has to be done very specifically based on your lifestyle. There are like wrong ways to do intermittent fasting too, right?
And what would you say would be like if someone's just trying it out or someone's wanting to do it, what would be the biggest mistakes that they can make while trying to do that?
I think starting too aggressively. So I have heard you can play with the window of eating. Maybe starting with a 12-hour fast. So like stop eating at 8 p.m. and start eating again after 8 a.m. kind of thing. And then slowly dwindle that window down from there. You can increase an hour every week rather than going full on into like 20-hour fast in a 4-hour feeding window.
Yeah, no, definitely. And with that, I find that people are still really not sure of like what kind of foods should be eaten like before or after. Is there anything that people should kind of steer away from when they're finish the fasting, or like before the fast? Is there any kind of like foods that they should kind of steer away from?
I think anytime you're coming off of a fast, you should try your best to eat foods that are higher in fat and lower in carbohydrates. Okay. Naturally, when you first wake up in the morning, your body's just has higher cortisol levels, so that's a stress hormone. And when you eat a lot of carbohydrates, like waffles, cereals, pancakes, the traditional North American diet, when you eat that, you're putting your body through this crazy insulin spike and crash. And as a result, I feel like that puts your body into more of a fat storage preferred mode. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you eat like a higher fat diet, that's more satiating, and fat is slower absorbing as well. So it takes longer for your body to metabolize fat and use it for energy. And so it's going to keep you fuller for longer and prevent you from going through that crazy energy roller coaster first thing in the morning.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. And then I guess as the day goes on, people end up crashing as well because they had a big amount of carbohydrates in the beginning of the day, and then as they go on. But interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah. I really find I get that question really often, and it's just like there's not really much that I can say about it, so it's always good to just like know more information about it. And you can obviously search stuff on Google, but I guess like, do you ever recommend that? Do you ever recommend things like that to your clients, like doing intermittent fasting or anything like that?
Yeah, I do. I do have a few clients that are doing intermittent fasting right now. And again, we started with a larger window for eating, and we slowly tapered it down based on their feedback and us checking in. And I find that, I don't want to bash these diets like they're all bad. Like there are certainly people that they can work for, right? One of the pros about intermittent fasting, I find, is it gives you a cutoff time at night for snacking. So if you're someone that really struggles with nighttime snacking, having a definitive end time for when you're eating is really helpful mentally.
No, for sure.
Yeah, like if you stop eating at 8 p.m., then you're not going to have that 10 p.m. bowl of popcorn that you usually have, and that's good. And there's nothing wrong with eating later in the evening. It's just that if you want to sleep earlier, like eating really close to bedtime can disrupt the quality of your sleep.
Okay.
Or sometimes the food choices that we make late at night aren't most optimal, right? We're not thinking about, oh, let's eat carrot sticks and celery at night. Like, no, we want to eat chocolate and chips and popcorn and things like that. So, yeah, like, you can definitely make intermittent fasting work for you. It just depends on who you are and what your context is.
Okay. So, yeah, because I think that's the biggest thing is that people don't realize that it just depends on what your goals are, right? For a lot of the things that you're going to be doing, it's going to be dependent, right? Because if someone's trying to gain a bunch of muscle, they're not going to be eating the same things in the morning as someone who is trying to lose weight, right?
And if you are someone that works out in the morning versus someone who works out in the afternoon, you're not going to be eating the same breakfast because you just exercise versus this person who's going to exercise later in the day, right? So many little contextual differences between people. That's why I really don't like labeling diets. I have clients that eat a gluten-free diet. I have clients that are vegan or plant-based, but I don't ever advocate them label their diet in any way. Just eat whatever diet works for you. And if it happens to align with a certain principle of a popular diet, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. Just worry about what works for you rather than following these arbitrary rules set up by authors and people that tell you what to eat.
I find that's the hardest part is trying to balance what experts are saying versus what enthusiasts on like Instagram and like other like places are saying, because a lot of information gets jumbled, right? So to be able to like, and I'm sure you have to deal with a lot of those all the time. You get new clients come to you and they have all of these previous notions of what nutrition is or what they need to do in order for them to lose weight or to gain muscle or to do these things, and like you have to like break that barrier before you can like even enter in your own philosophies. Right?
It's interesting. I mean, I recently listened to an audiobook that kind of talked about this mentality, and it's when people want to put their trust in someone else rather than trusting their own intuition and inner voice. And something that I'm so passionate about helping my clients find is listen to yourself, learn your own body language. And like learning any other language, it takes time. It's not going to be like a one day overnight overhaul thing. It's going to take time for you. It's going to take practice. You're going to fail at certain points and you're going to learn from it, and that's okay. And rather than putting your faith in someone else, like put your faith in yourself and your own body and know that it can navigate and